top of the hour already?
It is.
Oh, I'm always getting my nose stuck in a book. Well, I guess we'll have to put this one down for now. Hello, princes. Hello, princesses. It's so nice to see all of you from your family rooms at home. It's amazing that I'm able to reach all of you so quickly. Now, I do have to say, you're joining in right at a time for my favorite part of the day, tea and story time. I love a good spot of tea and a good book, and my favorite thing is that I get to do it at home with all of my family and friends. Well, I think today Sierra and I will be enjoying peppermint tea.
It's one of my favorites.
It's one of your favorites? Me too. Ooh, delicious. Well, I actually just recently picked up a book that quite a few people were saying you might have at home. Does anyone happen to have this book? If you do, you might want to grab it because it is time for a few stories. I'm going to pull my gloves off. It makes for a little bit easier of the turning pages. While I do so, if anyone has any questions or wants to say hi, please be sure to say hello in the comments below. Sierra's going to help me get to say hi to you today. All right. Let's see what we have here. I marked a few stories that I wanted to read for you today. The first story we have is Belle and the Castle Puppy. Oh, this is my favorite story. Maybe you can guess the end. But before we start a story today, I know there are 4 words that help with every single story. They set the beginning of the story. Do you know what they are? That's right. Once upon a time. All right. Belle was strolling through the castle garden one chilly spring day when she heard a whimpering sound. Oh, a puppy was huddled outside the castle gates. He looked cold and dirty. Oh, poor thing, Belle cried. Let's get you warmed up and fed. She wrapped the puppy in her red cloak and hurried to the castle. Oh, the puppy was so sweet when I saw him there. Belle and the enchanted objects gave the puppy a bath. The coat rack brought a towel. When he was clean and dry, the puppy ate a bowl of warm stew. He's so cute. I hope we can keep him, Chip the teacup exclaimed. Oh, it was so fun, but it was so messy. There was water everywhere. Let's see. All the enchanted objects were happy to have a guest, but the Ottoman remembered when he had been a real dog. Just like the puppy, what if Belle and the Beast liked the dog better? The Ottoman tried to get the princess's attention. With the funny little grrr, he raced around the kitchen, but no one noticed. A moment later, the puppy barked at the door. Do you want to go out and play? Belle asked. As Belle and the others followed the puppy outside, they didn't see the Ottoman sink out from behind them and walk in a different direction. They laughed as Belle threw sticks for the puppy to fetch. I wonder where the Ottoman went. The Beast walked up to Belle a while later. Someone has dug up my roses, he exclaimed. Then the Beast saw the puppy. Did the dog ruin my garden? Get rid of him now! The Beast roared as he stomped away. A beast can get very, very loud when he's angry. A moment later, the Ottoman ran past Belle and the others. His legs were muddy. I wonder who dug up those roses. The Ottoman dug up the garden, Belle exclaimed. But why? Lumiere asked the candelabrum. As Belle watched the Ottoman chase after the Beast, she suddenly understood. Oh, poor little guy, she said. He wanted some attention too. Suddenly, the puppy raced after the Ottoman, barking playfully. They both disappeared amongst the trees. What if they don't catch up with the Beast? They'll get lost, Belle exclaimed. I have to bring them back safely. But it's getting dark, Miss Potts protested. Belle looked at the long shadows creeping through the forest. Clutching her cloak tightly, she took a deep breath and started towards the trees. It was getting pretty dark that night. I don't like the dark very much. "Wait," Lumiere called to Belle. "I'll come and light up your way." "Thank you," Belle said as she picked up the candelabrum. "I'm glad you're coming." "Me too, I think," Lumiere replied, but his flames flickered nervously. Belle walked along the path. She had come this way before. "Puppy! Ottoman!" she called. She hoped that they had met up with the beast. She was looking forward to returning to the castle. There's Lumiere lighting my path. He was so sweet that night. I don't know what I would have done without him. A moment later, something rustled in the bushes. "What is that?" Lumiere whispered. "I hope it's just squirrels," Belle answered. "They must be very big squirrels," Lumiere replied. Belle picked up a large stick. Then she and Lumiere walked on, calling for the puppy and the ottoman. Belle realized that the puppy and the ottoman had gotten lost. She was determined to find them. A short while later, Belle heard loud barking. "I think we found them," Lumiere exclaimed. Belle followed the sound until she came into a clearing. The ottoman and the puppy stood under an enormous tree. The puppy was growling and barking loudly. "What's wrong?" Belle wondered aloud. Then she looked around and gasped. A large wolf was sitting nearby. "The puppy is protecting the ottoman," Lumiere exclaimed. "He's too small to stop that wolf for long," Belle said. "He needs help." Quickly, Belle put Lumiere on the ground and lit the stick she had been carrying. She ran towards the wolf, swinging it. "Get away! Get away!" she shouted. But the wolf didn't move. Just then, the beast showed up. The wolf ran away, yelping with fear. He's always so brave. "The puppy tried to save the ottoman," Belle told the beast. "They are brave little fellows," the beast answered. Cradling the puppy in one arm and the ottoman in the other, he led Belle to the castle. He always comes to my rescue. Later that night, everyone settled by the fireplace. Belle watched the beast stroke the ottoman and feed biscuits to the puppy. "May the puppy stay with us until I can find him a home?" she asked. The beast cleared his throat. "His home is here, with us," he answered gruffly. Belle smiled. She was glad that the beast had come around. I was so excited to get a puppy. The very next day, the beast presented the puppy and the ottoman with shiny badges. From now on, they would be the official protectors of the house. Yip, yip, woof, woof. They couldn't have been more excited. And we all know how it ends. And they lived happily ever after. Oh, I love that story. It's always so fun to tell a story when someone gets a dog. Sierra, do we have any questions that anyone wanted an answer to?
No questions, but we do have a list of people who wanted to say hi to you.
Oh, I would love to say hi.
All right. Well, first we have Maddie. She thinks you're very pretty today.
Oh, thank you so much, Maddie. I bet you're beautiful too. Hello.
And then we have Kaylin and Jameson.
Kaylin and Jameson.
Kayliana.
Kayliana.
Erin has 2 girls with her today.
Oh, hello, Erin. I would love to meet your 2 girls someday.
We have Ada and Aleka Griffin.
Ada and Aleka Griffin.
Uh-huh.
And Harper, and is that Brittany?
It is.
Oh, hello, everyone. It's so nice to have you all with us today. And there's also, Emma, Joseph, and Linda have joined us. Hello, Prince and Princesses. If you do have any questions, I am definitely happy to answer. I know sometimes it can be a little scary to ask somebody a question, but don't worry, we welcome them all. Oh, and hello, Lucy. Nice to meet you. Well, I do have one more story, but I want one little sip of tea. Oh, it's so delicious. I have this new teapot that Miss Potts had gotten me. It's really pretty, isn't it? All right. Well, we do have one more story today. Before we begin our last story time, I wanted to make sure that I actually challenge you all to be reading at home too. This is such a great time to be home with your parents. You could pick out a new book to read with them or with a friend, maybe a grandma or a grandpa. And if you start to read a book, I would love to hear about it. Please make sure to take a little picture of you reading and put it in the comments below, so that way I can say hi and be excited about your reading. All right, we have one more story to read today, and this is about another one of my favorite animals. Do you all know who Philippe is? That's right, he's my horse. All right, let's read the story about a friend named Philippe. It was a beautiful morning when Belle arrived at Philippe's stable with a surprise for her friend. "Guess what I have?" she said happily as she hurried to the horse's stall. "The first carrots of the season, Philippe. I picked them just for you." I was so excited about that. Do you guys have any pets that love a particular type of treat? Philippe loves carrots and apples. Philippe was not as happy as Belle had hoped. He sniffed at the bunch of carrots. When Belle offered him one, the horse pushed her hand away. "Is something wrong?" Belle asked, alarmed. Philippe was always hungry. Philippe hung his head and sighed. Belle decided that she had to cheer up her friend. But how? "If only you could talk," Belle said. "You could tell me exactly what to do." I don't know about you guys, but I always wished animals could talk. It'd make it a lot easier. Some of my princess friends, like Snow White and Cinderella, they're a little bit better at it than I am. Later that morning, Belle hurried to the castle library. She gathered all the books about horses she could find and began to read. "Sacre bleu!" cried Lumiere when he, Cogsworth, and Chip saw all the books. "What are you doing, Princess?" "I want to cheer up Philippe," Belle explained. "I hope these books would help me figure out what's wrong, but I'm not having much luck." "You should brighten his stall," Lumiere suggested. "It's important to have the right atmosphere, you know?" "I believe that music is the key to happiness," Cogsworth said. "It always made me smile when I was an enchanted clock." "Or how about a bubble bath?" Chip chimed in. "That used to cheer me up." I do love a good bubble bath. Belle decided to give each a try. First, she and Lumiere decorated Philippe's stall. They covered the walls with wallpaper and sprinkled flower petals on the floor. They piled pillows in the corners, hung curtains on the windows, and strung up beaded garlands. For a final touch, they hung a chandelier from the ceiling. "Voila!" Lumiere exclaimed. "What more could a horse ask for?" Philippe stared sadly out the window. "I wish I knew," said Belle. Next, Cogsworth brought an orchestra to the stable. Belle, Lumiere, and Chip listened politely as Cogsworth led the musicians through a very long concert. Philippe didn't seem to enjoy the music, though. "Look at him, he looks so sad there, listening to the music. Oh, I forgot how sad his face was." I loved the concert, though. It was fantastic. Finally, Belle saw that Philippe was treated to a bubble bath fit for a king. "If this doesn't make him smile," Belle told Chip, "I don't know what will." In the end, although he was shiny and sweet-smelling, Philippe was still glum, and Belle was still puzzled. "Maybe the prince will know what to do," Chip suggested. And Chip was right. Belle thought that was an excellent idea. She found the prince in his study and explained everything to him. "I wish I knew what Philippe needed," she cried. "Do you have any suggestions?" The prince Prince thought for a moment. Maybe a walk around would do him good, he said. That always used to cheer me up. Of course, Belle agreed. That's a wonderful idea. Bright and early the next morning, Belle changed into her riding clothes and fetched Philippe. She led him to the edge of the forest where the royal orchards began. The sight of all the delicious fruit gave Belle an idea. Would you like an apple? The princess asked. Go ahead and choose one. Philippe wandered from tree to tree, eyeing each apple and even sniffing some. But he looked sad, and his steps were slow and heavy. It was clear his heart wasn't in it. They continued until they reached the meadow. All of a sudden, Philippe's ears pricked up, and his head snapped to attention. Then he charged off like a racehorse. Whoa, boy! Belle cried, nearly falling out of the saddle. Where are you going? But Philippe galloped on, straight into the forest. At last, they emerged into a clearing filled with wild horses. Philippe whinnied, and several of the horses answered him. Finally, Belle realized what Philippe had wanted. Not a fancy stall, or fine music, or a bubble bath. He wanted to be with other horses. Philippe trotted eagerly over to the herd. Well, go on, Belle said, as she swung out of the saddle. Go have some fun. Soon Philippe was playing with one of the horses. The two horses chased each other around the clearing and found a patch of delicious grass. All too quickly, the day was over, and the sun began to set. Oh, goodness, we've got to get going. I promise we'll be back soon, Belle told Philippe. As they started towards the castle, Belle heard a sound of hoofs behind them. Well, look at that, Philippe, she exclaimed. It's your new friend. The horse who had played with Philippe all afternoon was following them home. By the time they reached the castle, the two horses were walking side by side. Do you see the two horses? There they are. There's Philippe, and there's his new friend right there. He's a very beautiful horse, too. Welcome to our castle, Belle told the new horse when they arrived. We're honored to have you as our guest. To show the horse she meant it, Belle fixed up the stall next to Philippe's. There, she said when she was through. Now this looks like a stable where a horse or two could live happily ever after. And that's exactly what they did. Oh, I love that story. And I loved decorating the stables. I love decorating. It's one of my favorite things to do. Do we have anyone to say hi to? Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of them. First off, we have Sienna.
Oh, great. Hello, Sienna.
And Finn and Maya.
Finn, Maya. Oh, and Savannah. Hello. Nice to meet you. Looks like we have a few more princesses, too. We have Scarlet and Grace, Harper, Madeline, Meadow, and Aniston. Hello. Nice to see all of you. Alexandra, Alexis, and Evie. Hello, princesses. I wish I could be there with you, too. I hope you're doing well. Aww. And Peyton. Hello, Miss Peyton. It's so nice to meet you as well. All right. And we do have one question. It is from Miss Olivia. How did your hair grow? Well, I do have to say, it's a lot of care to have really long hair. You have to make sure that you do wash it regularly, but most importantly, that I brush it to keep it nice and silky smooth. And what is your favorite book? Oh, I get asked that question all the time, and I don't know if I'll ever have an answer. Because you know what? It always changes. I think I found my favorite, and then I read another. Well, I'm so excited that I was able to have story time with you all. I do hope to see your pictures of you reading as well, as it is one of my favorite activities. And if you're ever interested and meeting me personally or having me maybe video chat in, you can always go to princessparty.com. Oh, we have one more question. I want to make sure I get to answer that. What is the name of the new horse? Oh, it's Jermaine. I thought it was a silly one. We had fun naming him. I don't know if he's liking the name too much. I think he liked it when he was a little wild, but he really is a close friend of Philippe's. Well, it was so nice to see all of you, and I do want to say that I know things can seem a little uncertain right now, but it is so important that we do not lose hope. All right? That's the most magical power we all have. Make sure to love those around you and love those that are in your home. Take part in the house. As you know, at our castle, we all get involved to make dinner, and we all get involved to clean up. So make sure you're being a part of your home and you're taking care of your family. All right? And say hello. Make sure to have pen pals during this time. Read some good books. And I just want to say thank you all for watching. I know there will be other princesses and such joining soon, and we hope that we all get to say hello to you in your family room.